Okay, so there were a couple things that I didn't put in the other video just to keep it short that are useful. They're not necessary to know, but they do help a decent amount. The first one I'd like to show you is removing doubles. Now, if I just select all these and hit Shift D to duplicate, and I just move it right on top here. Now, you can tell that there's actually two vertices on the exact same point here. Now, you could leave it at that, but that just wastes processing if you're making the model for a game, or it just makes it take a lot longer to render. Well, not a lot longer if it's just one or two vertices extra, but if the entire thing is doubled up, it's going to take a good amount time, a decent amount longer. So I just select everything and then press W and then hit remove doubles. It's just right there in the just about the middle. You just click it. It says how many vertices will be removed, and there you go. Now there's only one vertice on each point. It's just something to keep models simple. If you say I have 2 points together, you just keep selecting the wrong one. It just makes it a lot easier. Now another thing that's actually fairly good to know. I guess I lied when I said you don't need to know this because this is extremely necessary. If you press space, you bring up essentially the add window. Now you can hit add mesh and then you can choose what you want to create. Why not, we'll make a cylinder. Now you can select how many vertices, the radius, and the depth. The depth and radius is the size. The vertices, here I'll make it. The vertices would be how many points are up here, not counting the middle one. Now that's actually extremely necessary to know. And whenever you make a mesh, it creates the center, the focus spot for the mesh. I'll just move the mesh a little over. You can see when it's not selected, there's this purple dot. That's the center point for the mesh. Say if I move all these vertices up, and then in object mode I rotate the mesh, it rotates on that little focus point right there. So that's where it'll create. It'll create on this 3D cursor. So if I move that and then create a plane, it creates it on the 3D cursor still. Now, just keeping with this plane here, if I go into edit mode with it, another thing is press Z to change the view type. You can see it just goes from solid to wireframe there. It's more apparent on a cube. I'll just show you this quickly. Actually, I'll just make us another cylinder. So you can clearly see through it, and if you change it back to solid, it's an actual solid object instead of just the wireframe. So back with the plane. If you select everything, and then down here, you see there's a button called subdivide. Now if you press that, it just cuts everything. So now it's just cut all the edges into half. The face has been cut into half, so now there's 4 faces. Simple. Now if you select that all, hit subdivide again, it'll cut all of them once again. Now if I just undo this, and now I press W and hit subdivide multi, you can choose how many cuts there will be. So say I just leave it at 2. Now you can see it changed it then whether if you were to subdivide it normally. Alright, so one last thing I would like to go by is if you have it in face select mode, or actually even if you have it in vertice select mode, if you select a face or an edge, and down here you can hit split and then hit OK, and then whatever you selected will just split off from the rest. Simple enough concept, but it can end up coming in handy. And that's about all I'd like to cover. So I hope you found this useful, and good luck with your modeling.